Many of my students, they come and they speak only one thing. Ma'am, I can understand English, but in terms of communication, it's a great challenge. Well, this is the story of many of the people who live in India. Specifically, English is something that we all want to develop. I just want to know, are you also the someone who really wants to develop English communications while talking with somebody in terms of communication, in terms of speaking with others? So, ladies and gentlemen, I am Anita and I am your Englishtimes sufferer. Today, in this video, I want to tell you the reason why that we get fumble to speak in English while we just go anywhere or we meet with anybody's in the office, in the meeting, in the presentation, we get fumbled. What is the reason behind of it? I do share each and everything today. I do also share the solutions. Don't go anywhere till the end. You just watch it. You can get lots of ideas, and even though you can also correlate the similar kind of the problem, because today the problem is not the problem of mine or of yours. It is the problem of lakhs and the crores of the people. So ladies and gentlemen, let's start this video where I do share to you the reason behind of it, that you are a great listener while that you are listening to somebody's and you understand English as well, but when it comes to the communicate with someone's, to talking with somebody's, you do not understand how to speak. Number one point is the passive and active listener. Well, what is that? When you listen to somebody, at that time, you are absolutely a relaxed person. You do not have any kind of tension because somebody else is communicating. So you are listening to these things and your audio is really getting stimulated to understand the things. While you are speaking to someone, at that time your mind, your brain and your language would come. At that time you are really focusing. At that time you are very serious, organized to talk with someone in English, and then you get perplexed to communicate with somebody in the right way. This is the first point, that is that one side you are listening to somebody, that means you are not doing anything. On other hand, that you are talking to someone and that time you are communicating, that means you are putting your effort, and therefore that you are absolutely confused or perplexed to communicate. Number 2 point, while you are talking with somebody, at that time you get confused. But does it happen with you when you are absolutely alone? You are in the washroom or you are at room and no one is there and you're talking to yourself, you're introspecting about the communication. At that time you're absolutely go well, but in terms of if you meet with somebody in front of someone, then you get confused and you really get fumbled to communicate. Does it happen with you as well? Yes, this was also my case when I was learning 5 years ago the music. Well, I'm telling you that at that particular time, normally what happened, I just went to the washroom and I started to murmuring these songs. At that particular time, I was awesome and I was literally feeling myself very confident because I know that how to communicate, how to sing the song. But when it comes to my teacher, in front of my teacher, I couldn't, because I didn't know, because he interrupted me a lot, said that Anita, that you made this mistake, that mistake. So this is what actually the problem occurs in the English communication as well. What happens whenever you talk with the English, at that time, if you are talking with yourself, you are into the flow of that and no one is judging you. In terms of if you meet with somebody, in terms of that your friends or your peer groups or your colleagues or your boss or your seniors, if you meet with them and you communicate with them, at that particular time you think, so may that I make some mistakes here. So therefore, I just want to tell you that it happens like this. Whenever we talk with others, we get confused and we really don't know what to speak. Number 3 is all about the practice. Well, I just want to tell you, when you buy the mobile or the laptop, we get the manual. So are you someone who really reads the manual, understand the manual and go with that? I guess no. Well, I don't do like this because I know that if I get stuck somewhere, of course that I just try that my own to open the laptop, to just understand all these things. In case I don't understand, then I simply call to my friend and I just take the guidance from them. I guess that we all do the same. Whenever we get the mobile phone, I think so that if you really buy the iPhone, then also you are doing the similar thing. Means that you just check your mobile and you can understand so many things. Well, in terms of English communication, we don't do that. What we do? We learn lots of grammar, vocabularies, these things, that things, and we have a different approach towards this communication. And therefore, what happens exactly when we really ready to practice this communication or this English language, at that particular time, we give up. We think about it, this is something we cannot do. Therefore, it becomes so difficult to communicate with others. These things happens with many people. So what is the right way to go? I just want to tell you that here the most important thing is that don't think about it, that what are the manuals. Similarly, don't go with the grammar book, don't go with so many vocabularies, open the dictionary, started to learn so many words. Don't do like this. First most important thing is that how much you know, how much you have idea, start to communicate, start to practice. And even though if it's a mistake also, make it that, but be confident I can speak in front of others. If you have these things, then you can easily understand the language as well as you can communicate well. Because when you drive the first time the car, of course you cannot be a good driver. You really don't know how to put each and everything on balance. But later on, gradually, that you really develop your ability to drive nicely. So my dear friend, we all are the native speaker initially. But if you really work hard, really do the practice, we really talk with others, automatically it get reduce or diminish, or you can also speak well English. Number fourth point. Fourth is all about the liberty. What happens when we watch anything in the YouTube channel or your Netflix, or if you listen to music or if you listen to news at that particular time, you are absolutely okay with that. What is happening with you, that's in case you don't understand, then you have one option that to pause it. You have that liberty to pause it. You can also go back and you can listen to again the same kind of the things. In terms of communication, it is instant, means spontaneously you have to act on it. Then what happens that you get confused what to speak and how to speak. So listening is something that you can really understand, you can easily go with that, you cannot have so much issues. But in terms of communication, it becomes difficult. Why? Because you do not have liberty. So this is my fourth point. Number fifth is all about lack of knowledge. Well, what happens? Normally that we do not have so much information. Suppose that I am a person who works in the HR department, where that I basically belong to the HR related work, where that I do recruit, I am the part of the training and the development, I am the part of the selections, I am the part of the code of conduct. So if somebody would ask me related to AI, means artificial intelligence, of course, I don't communicate with him or her because I don't have idea. I do not have this subject knowledge. Therefore, sometimes we get mum, we just get stuck and we really don't know how to exaggerate that particular point. So, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is that whenever you talk with somebody, you don't feel bad, even though the most important thing is that you have to know about it. Suppose that any topic is going on, so allow your brain to receive multiple kind of the information from the outside. If you can do like this, then you can get lots of ideas, you have a lots of information so that you can easily communicate with others on that particular topic. Then your communication skill will improve, as well as you can get a lot of ideas and people really want to meet with you and talk with you. Number sixth point is all about fear of perfection. What happens many a time, I have seen these things, I just met with the people, they would say to me that ma'am, the moment I will be better in my communication, in my English language, then only I will start to communicate. I have one student, when she joined me at that time, she was well speaker. Despite of it, she could not speak in front of her peer groups. She could not speak in front of her boss, and she could say to me that, ma'am, I wanted to be a very fluent speaker, then only I'll communicate. I said that how it's possible if you really do not put your step, if you really do not get that ideas, or if you do not get that feedback from others, how can you justify or judge yourself that you are good or you're bad? So many times it happens that students do not be into form of communication because they really wanted more perfect, which is quite difficult, my dear. So what is most important thing, that whatever you know, how much you know, you start to communicate. Then one, you can understand whether you are a speaker or you can't speak in front of others, and in that way you can learn the things, and even though that you can gradually increase your communication style as well. Number 7 is fear of good. Well, I just want to tell you that normally what happens whenever we meet with the very good speaker, profound in communications, at that time we simply get confused or get scared. That, my God, I'm meeting with such a big person, I'm meeting with such a big business tycoon or CEO of the company or the VP of the company. At that particular time, we get confused because this man has a great communication skill, which I don't have. And because of this, that you judge yourself, that is why that you do not share your point of view as well. At that time, you always come and say that whenever I have a presentation, whenever I have a meeting, at that particular time, I don't speak, I get fumbled, I get confused, I get blank. These are the things that you started to communicate. And that is why the most important thing is that don't see to others who is good than you, but see to yourself. Whatever you know, you try it and you make yourself better. That's it. If you can do it like this, then you can also be a good communicator, not only a good listener. You can also communicate with others confidently, positively, and even though the people started to remark you. That's it. Now, I talk about the solution. Number 1 is active imitation. Well, whenever you watch anything, you listen to it. Suppose that you watch any motivational speaker's video, like Gaur Gopal's video. You watch it and then again, immediately that you have to imitate the same thing. You get a lot of ideas, comprehensions, your way that you have to comprehend the similar things, and then you can see that you can easily communicate. You have lots of ideas. So now that don't be a lazy listener, you have to be active speaker. Number 2, just do it. Whatever, anything that you know, if you really meet with others, don't introspect yourself, go and communicate. Speak, instantly speak. Don't feel fear to communicate. Number 3 is all about the practice that which you have to do it. Well, Englishtimes also provide this kind of the practice platform where that people join and they communicate with each other. We are absolutely conducive towards the teaching, and even though we can also give certain topics where that impromptu is there, where that people start to communicate without having any blank, and they have no knowledge also, they try to communicate instantly, and even though they would be better and better. That's it. If you really try these things, you get the benefit as well. And we always try that to make kind of the platform for the students where that they can come and they can easily connect with others, because we never just do anyone. We always try that to give the best platform and the flexible platform. That's it for the stories. I really want to know that whether you liked this video or not. In case, if you really want to be a great kind of speaker and communicator, then follow my rules. You can get lots of ideas to communicate with others. I really want to tell you, if you really like this video, then don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to share with others. I will meet with you in the next video. Till the time, take care and do practice how much you can yourself.